Hello, and welcome to 10 Tips to Thrive as a New Professor or Adjunct at a PWI or HSI. I'm Dr. Kendra Sabri,
And I'm Dr. Nicole Copeman.
and I want to say we'll be your facilitators today. So let's just jump in and get started. Let's see what's on our agenda. Okay. All right. During this presentation, we're going to initiate connections amongst Black faculty members to foster a supportive network to share experiences, challenges, and strategies for success in academia. We want to provide you all with tools and strategies to foster a more inclusive and supportive environment on your college campuses. We want to equip you all with techniques to confidently assert your expertise in your respective fields, enabling you to contribute meaningfully to academic discourse and advancement. We want to also empower you to advocate for yourselves by providing you with the tools and confidence to assert your needs, to seek opportunities, and to address challenges effectively. And then lastly, we want to offer you guidance and resources to support you in navigating the academic landscape, promoting resilience, resourcefulness, and the ability to resist obstacles, ultimately fostering success and attainment of tenure if that's what you're seeking. So let's get started. No matter where life takes me, there'll always be someone who's threatened by it. Francesca Ramsey. You know, the weight of being the only one in a department meeting, the subtle and not so subtle microaggressions that chip away at your sense of belonging, the constant pressure to be both exceptional and palatable. You know, the unique challenges of navigating academia as a Black professional. How do you navigate the daily barrage of microaggressions? What strategies have you found to be effective? What support systems do you rely on? So, again, the purpose of this presentation is to provide 10 tips to help you thrive. I want you guys to take a minute to write down, what does thriving mean to you? Is it achieving tenure? Is it finding joy in your research? Is it mentoring the next generation? Or is it simply teaching in peace? All right, so our first tip is going to be to connect and build community. So, this isn't just about socializing. It's about creating a space where we feel understood, where we feel valued and empowered. I want you all to find solidarity, which helps us to know that we're not alone in our experiences. I want you all to gain invaluable insights by learning from the wisdom and expertise of other colleagues. I want you all to foster professional growth by collaborating on research, publications, and grants together, right? And then ultimately, we can cultivate a sense of belonging by transforming the campus in which we work into a truly inclusive environment. Okay, so note that it doesn't just have to be Black faculty from other departments, but Black and Brown staff in IT, in the library, and other, areas of the college. Tip number two, gain allies. So beyond our vital internal community, building strong alliances across the college is essential. So I want you guys to seek out mentors, not just within our ranks, but throughout the institution. Okay. Identify colleagues who understand the unique challenges we face and are committed to our success. These allies can open doors, they could amplify our voices, and they can provide critical support as we navigate our academic journeys. Building these bridges extends or expands our network and it strengthens our collective impact on the campus. Okay. So, gaining allies and mentors and faculty adjacent departments, as I mentioned before, e learning, faculty teaching and learning, financial aid, wherever you can find them. Okay. Tip number three, showcase your expertise. Our expertise is our power. Okay. So we have to actively showcase it. So I want you to be encouraged to publish, to present, to lead, to engage. Don't wait to be asked. Create these opportunities for yourself if you feel empowered to do so, or when you feel empowered to do so. Or if these opportunities make you happy, right? If this is how you thrive, then create those opportunities for yourself. Share your research, share your insights, and your unique perspectives. When we amplify our voices and we demonstrate our capabilities, we not only advance our own careers, but we also challenge perceptions and we inspire the next generation of scholars. So we encourage you to know your job, know how to do it better than others, right? Especially if you're working for a program in which you have program accreditation standards, know the degree and program employment market, know what's going on in the industry, in those professional associations. Just again, remember that you are the subject matter expert. Tip number 4, autonomy. Autonomy is the foundation of our success. Okay. So let's champion our right to shape our research, our teaching, and our contributions to this institution. Okay. Claim ownership of your expertise and of your vision. Advocate for the resources that you need to thrive. Okay. Don't take on or join your non Black colleagues' battles, even if you are experiencing the same issue. Okay. I want you to understand that it's probably best for you to handle your issue one on one with your direct supervisor. Tip number 5, documentation. Document everything, every meeting, every interaction, every achievement. Okay. This is not about paranoia, it's about empowerment. So, having detailed records provide undeniable evidence of your contributions, of your efforts, and any potential inequities. So, in academia, where narratives are often shaped by those in position of power, documentation can be our shield and our sword. It ensures our voices are heard, our work is recognized, and our rights are protected. So before I turn it over to Dr. Copeman, again, we encourage you to keep your receipts, archive your emails, right? Or forward them to your personal email address. Keep those previous course sequences, curriculum changes, meeting minutes, so you again have proof of the things that were asked of you, of the questions that you asked, or the insights that were shared. All right, Dr. Copeman, it's all yours.
All righty. So, the woman who doesn't require validation from anyone is the most feared individual on the planet. And this is a quote from Modessa Najami. And so when I think about this quote, I think about the person or the woman that is who's able to stand on their own, right? They're operating from a position of power because they don't need the validation from their colleagues or their superiors, right? So when you're in a position where you need the constant validation of your superiors, then you're operating from a position of weakness. And so when
Mm,
you're operating from a position of weakness, then you have less chess moves, right? You have less options for yourself. Okay. So just keep that quote in mind. Next slide. Okay, so tip number 6, observation. Okay, so here, this is where you want to pay attention to what's said, whether it's the water cooler talk or you going out to get your coffee, interviews, meetings, whatever, right? File it away in your mental Rolodex for future use. You never know when something that's said innocuously, during lunch can come back, right? And so you want to make sure you just have that information again in your mental Rolodex. You remember when, such and such said something about the student application process. Now it's coming back up again, right? So again, you always want to keep that information. Just tuck it somewhere in your mental Rolodex in your back pocket. Okay. Tip number 7, resilience. So you're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days. On the bad days, you have to remember your good days because that's what's going to keep you moving forward, right? Um, and also, don't let anyone try to push you out, especially when you are doing everything to fulfill your job description and you're meeting your goals. Like, I have the attitude, I'm going to leave when I'm ready to leave, right? Like, no one is going to push me out of a position that I've been doing for this amount of years and I am more than competent in. Not just I say it, but my superiors say it as well. So again, that's where you need to have your resilience because there are going to be days where you're going to feel like everyone is coming against you, whether it's your students, administration, colleagues, or whatever, but it will pass. This too shall pass. Okay, tip number 8, resourcefulness. Lean into your contacts within your institution, such as those individuals that you may have built a relationship in e-learning or in the IT department or in another academic department, right? And then also external. So your professional associations, whether you're a nurse, right, and you're teaching in a nursing program, then you have your nursing professional association. And also, if your program has an accreditation body, that's another resource for you as far as your contacts go. If you have a question about something, you can shoot, that person an email to get an answer and to get clarification. And then guess what? Now you have it in written form and it's documented, and that's something that if it ever comes up again, you have it in case your superiors, your dean, your department chair, or whoever has a question, you have something in black and white. And then also your faculty at your nearby institutions, right? So that kind of goes hand in hand with your program body's accreditation because you might also meet faculty through the program accreditation body, right? And so you can create work groups. So I'm, in a program where it has an accreditation and we have monthly town hall meetings. And so I've made connections through Zoom in the chat, in the comments. And so what I'll do is we'll meet offline. We'll have our own meetings to talk about the new curriculum requirements or accreditation standards, and we'll form our own work groups, okay? And then also, as far as faculty at other institutions or nearby institutions, especially if they're in the same program or teaching the same discipline, that's another great resource. Like I reached out to my counterpart at a nearby institution because I had a question about late assignment policy. Hey, I'm having a tough time with this semester. What's your late assignment policy? Just to get a gauge of like, am I being unrealistic and expecting certain things from my students? And so that gave me confirmation that I wasn't being unrealistic. Okay. Okay, tip 9, resist the power to push back. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. You can push back respectfully and professionally and still get your point across. If someone says something that's offensive to you, let them know, okay? That's a form of pushback, right? Because maybe they don't know it's offensive. Maybe they do know it's offensive and no one has never bothered to call them out on their stuff. So don't let those little things go. Don't let those little microaggressions, pass by. Say something. That's your resistance. That's your power to push back, right? And if it needs to get escalated, you have your HR, you have your well, I won't say DEI anymore, but you have your quote unquote, I don't know what the new term is going to be now, but what used to be your DEI department. your
Right.
I guess your faculty championship, your faculty champion. So there are other avenues. Your union, if your faculty is unionized, that's another avenue.
Mhm.
Okay.
I love that you said that though, because that was something that I always struggled with. Like, I'm the type of person I allow things to just roll off my back, and that's
Mhm.
not healthy because then again, you get to the point where you allow them to push you out because you
Mhm.
have all these receipts, right? You have all of these things stored in your mental Rolodex that has happened to you or that was said to you, but you did nothing about it.
Right. And then what's going to happen when you finally do say something? Because this happened to me.
See?
The dean at the time said, "Well, why didn't you say anything?"
See? Yeah.
So now you're being blamed for this person's bad behavior
See?
instead
Yeah.
of leadership correcting this person's bad behavior, right? And we see
Right.
that all the time in other instances with other types of offenses, right? That we've been seeing a lot in the news when it comes to certain celebrities, right? And people are
Mhm.
asking, well, why are they just now saying something about it? This is
Right.
kind of like the
Mhm.
same thing. It happened to you, but because you're just not saying something, you're now being looked at as the bad person instead of the person who
Right.
committed the offense to begin with. So don't allow
Right.
anybody to put that on you.
Right.
And
That's
it
that
doesn't
victim
matter when they
blaming
speak up. The
mentality.
fact is
Right.
you're speaking up now, and especially when you have receipts.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Tip number 10, rest and retreat. This is my favorite tip here. We are in a service oriented field industry, right? Where our students are coming to us, they're expecting us to solve all of their issues. Other faculty are coming to us, leadership are coming to us. So everyone is taking from you, right? So it's important that you rest and retreat. And one way I like to rest and retreat is by taking a self care day once a semester. So I use my sick time, whatever I have, and I'll just take a day off. And I'll use that day to do whatever I want to do. It may not be nothing. It might be just me sitting on the sofa, binge watching Paradise or the latest show that's out, right? Or going to get a massage. Other ways to rest and retreat include engaging in your favorite hobby or activity, exercising, yoga. I love to read. So, one of my goals is to read 2 books a month, one through my book club and then one of
Mm.
my personal choice. And so, for me, reading, it's a time where I can just get totally lost in it and not think about anything else, not think about work, not think about personal life or anything. Like, I just get lost in this story, and it's a good way for me to like really ground and center myself and put back into myself so I'm able to go back into the classroom and do it all over again, right?
I love that.
Mhm. And I'll even say with the reading, like my goal is I try to read 2 chapters a day. I may not always read 2 chapters a day, but I try to read something, right? Just
Right.
whatever book I'm reading. And you can rest and retreat daily by choosing not to check or answer emails after a certain time. And this is a lesson I had to learn the hard way, because when I first started teaching full time, I would have my calendar, my work calendar merged onto like my personal calendar on my phone so I could see my personal stuff along with like my work meetings and meetings with my students. And then with my emails, I would get a notification. So I got the icon on my screen, but then I also got that ding. And so it got to the point like it just gave me too much anxiety. And so I
Mhm.
had to turn that ding off. I don't get the notification anymore. So if I have to see my work email, I literally have to click on the email icon, switch over from my personal email to my work email to see it.
All
Right.
right, look, that's a bonus tip, Dr. Copeman. Tip number 11, boundaries.
Yes, yes,
Boundaries.
right. Now, what I have done, and I still have the merged calendars, but something happened for some reason. I could not, my calendars unmerged itself and I couldn't get it back merged. And it really frustrated me. But I was like, you know what, Nicole? Don't worry about it, right? And so I left it alone. But what I did was I added another calendar on a separate screen on my phone because you know how you can swipe and you have all these different
Mhm.
screens. And so just a little calendar widget for my institution. So just so I can see, because sometimes I'll forget about a meeting, or if a meeting gets put on my calendar, right? Or if I'm in a meeting and we're trying to schedule our next meeting and someone's asking, well, when are you available? I need to look at my personal calendar because I don't know about anybody else, but I have stuff to do. I have a life out of,
Right.
right? I got doctor's appointments, hair appointments, massage appointments, trips, brunch and dinners. Like I have a life. So I need to be able to look at that calendar to make sure I don't double book myself. So that's like, I guess, my bonus tip.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see like every semester I'll post a LinkedIn post like, don't forget to take your self care day. It's your reminder. Self care is not selfish. All
I
right.
love it. I love it.
Okay. So we have this quote by Maya Angelou. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And so for me, when I think about this quote, it's just being able to look at yourself in the mirror and being okay with the way that you've handled things, the way you have moved and navigated through academia. That's success, right? Being able to resist and stand up for yourself and liking yourself for that and not feeling like not second guessing yourself like maybe I shouldn't have stood up for myself or maybe I went a little too
Right.
far this time. And no, you didn't go too far. Maybe you didn't go far enough. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
So I love this quote.
Mhm. All right. So now we are going to open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to drop them below this video and we will get back to you. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to be with us today and listen to 10 tips to thrive in a PWI or an HSI as a professor or an adjunct. We also encourage you to connect with us at the qualified adjunct. You can visit our website at www.thequalifiedadjunct.com, and we are on most social media channels. So thank you again. Best of luck on your journey, right? Whether that's full time, whether it's adjunct, and if you need help, know that we got your back. Thank you.
Thank you.